Hey, everybody, welcome to the first April edition of the Brief Nerdity podcast. I will be your host this week. My name is Ryan. Joining me once again is my good friend Trent.
Hello.
And then special guest starring again is not Ross. Yeah, you thought I was going to go Ross since I said special guest, but no. Once again is my good friend Nick joining us, also known as Awesome Alan from the Gamer Rants days.
Hello, this is Nick, also known as Awesome Alan, and not to be confused with my husband, Alan, who is also named Alan,
but also pretty awesome.
But not from the Gamer Rants days. He's from my
It's not going to be confusing at all.
years days.
You just knew back in 2008 that you'd find someone named Alan, and so
Of course.
that's why you were called Awesome Alan. Now, remind me, why did you decide to go as Awesome Alan and not just Nick back in the day? In the old Gamer Rants days.
It's your middle name.
It's my middle name, Alan.
Oh, someone's totally going to steal our identity now.
And I think it had a lot to do with, I felt like everyone had to have their own little internet personalities back then. And Awesome Alan seemed like the most neutral, maybe. I thought about like Nervous Nick, but there was already a Nervous Nick like on YouTube, and I just worked with what I had, and I like my middle name. I like my middle name more than my first name, actually. And I just went with Awesome Alan. And
I see. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting transition of how the internet's gone from where people used to only go by pseudonyms, and now everyone kind of goes by their real name.
Right.
Like, I remember the idea of telling anyone your real name on the internet back in the like late 90s, early 2000s was just like completely taboo. Like, no, they're gonna find you and kidnap you and take you away.
Well, now they're still gonna find you.
Yeah.
They're just going to steal your credit card information instead of rape you in a van.
Ha, you can have all the debt that comes with it. Suck it.
Well, kind of speaking of the old Gamer Rants days, we got our first ever piece of fan email. There's much rejoicing. Woo! This comes from Dylan. He said, just some fan mail. I was a fan of Gamer Rants way back when I was in grade school. Makes me feel old. It's nice to finally hear your voices and some new content. Just want to let you guys know to keep up the good work. In my smallest podcast I listen to every week, you guys just beat out Idle Thumbs. Can't wait to listen to episode 16. I'm saving it for a road trip this Thursday. Well, Dylan, thank you for your mail. I hope you drive safe while you're listening to this episode. And this episode is dedicated to you and our first piece of fan mail. So thanks, Dylan.
Thank you, Dylan.
And if anyone else would like to write to us, it's briefnerdity@gmail.com.
Yep.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, feel free to let us know that as well. That would be fantastic.
Just a simple like, hey, what do you feel about X? And then we'll give you our honest input on it. So whatever that. So since Dylan was a fan of some of our old Gamer Rants work, we thought we'd just talk a little bit about that for just a couple minutes before we dive into the brief nerdy stuff. And so, Nick, what would you say your favorite brief nerdy video is?
My favorite brief nerdity video? Well, considering that
we only have one. No, sorry. The old Gamer Rants video, would you say?
Oh, man.
Is this when I start singing Let It Go again?
Please no. I had to edit that.
I was actually, not too long ago, I was looking at a lot of the old Gamer Rants videos, and I think you described it best that they're really cringeworthy, but I feel like it was a different time for the internet. Everyone was still kind of getting into their just into their own like groove of how to present themselves, and just going back on a lot of old Gamer Rants, we talk about we just talk a lot of crap about a lot of things without like real solutions, but we're really trying to be really funny, I think, and we tried too hard to be funny. Anything was relevant, I guess. But my favorite video, tooting my own Gamer Rants videos, but I liked a lot of the kind of retrospective ones that I did. And the one that you did too. I love the Fable one you did. And
yeah,
giving a kind of a more rounded view on the game, because that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're just giving like their thoughts on a game all around, rather than just, you know,
like a
recording
review.
a video of themselves playing a game horribly or looking for every negative thing to talk about a game. It's better to just you know you play the game and talk about the game rather than just reacting to dumb stuff about the game.
And you tried to do Let's Plays before they were a thing, with setting up your camera and watching you play Dead Space terribly with a camera.
Well, that led to my favorite video. Don't touch the baby.
Don't touch the baby. Classic.
That was my favorite. That was my first appearance in the brief or in the Gamer Rant stuff. So.
And I was gonna say that's probably my favorite video. And I was so happy that we were able to do that style of Gamer Rants Awards again this past year. I was just it's a kind of a pain to edit, but I really feel that the Game Rants Awards videos kind of just nail like our comedic style, and also gives us an opportunity to kind of just voice an opinion on a game, or just to be funny on a game in a matter of like 3 seconds, and then moving on to the next game. So, and I don't think anybody on the internet quite does their awards like we do. So. But yeah,
I don't want to say he does it exactly. Donkeys is
close. He definitely stole our joke with Super Mario Brothers 2, though. Giving Super Mario Brothers 2 the Game of the Year award, just like we give Mass Effect 2. So speaking of Mass Effect, we won't spend too much long on this, but I have now finished the game. Trent, I'm assuming that my just opinion on the final latter part of the game is a spoiler, so I won't be talking about it too much. But I know last week we said that we would be talking a lot of Mass Effect, but probably not this week, since we want to give Ross, myself, and Trent enough time all to finish the game. So, but I'm very, very happy with Mass Effect and the way it turned out. I don't know if I would say it exceeded my expectations or didn't meet my expectations, because I went in very, very excited, but also I guess a little bit timid, because it was going to be new universe, new characters and things like that. And things I loved about Mass Effect were the universe and the characters, which the characters wouldn't be around, but technically I guess the universe was. But either way, I'll have a lot of good Mass Effect stuff to say. Trent, since I know I'm ahead of you, feel free to talk about whatever you'd like, but what are some things that you're enjoying and or not enjoying about Mass Effect right now?
Oh man, I'm really liking a lot of the side quest stuff on the different planets, and I thought that I would get bored by it, because I figure I'm roughly halfway, or maybe a little bit more than halfway into the game now, and I just find myself bouncing around, just doing all these random quests, and not feeling like I need to, like that I'm getting bored, need to rush to the next story quest. And so that's super fun. And I found the planet that, in my opinion, is the most fun with the Nomad, where like there's lower gravity and you get to like fly around and make awesome jumps.
Yeah, that's a fun planet.
Super fun stuff. So I was literally just having a ball driving around on that for like half an hour, not doing anything important.
I love your squad's like commentary while you're driving too. Like get too close to like a giant chasm. They're like,
Cora freaks out.
Yeah. So does Drac. Drac freaking becomes a big baby. It's funny. But yeah, nice. And we've been having a lot of fun with the multiplayer too. I've probably clocked about 30 hours in the multiplayer already.
Yeah, I've had to like turn down people and be like, "Hey, you should come play multiplayer." But like, but single player, I want to finish. But yeah, so it's been really fun.
Nice. Nick, last year I bought you a copy of Mass Effect Trilogy for you to play again, and actually finish 3 this time, and take Alan through this wonderful, wonderful universe. And you still haven't done that, so you should be ashamed of yourself.
Did you want me to comment on something?
Sure.
We created a guy. I don't
things.
think Alan remembers much about it, but we intend to finish it.
Or start it.
We started it. We didn't get off Eden Prime though. I'm starting to kind of see a lot of old annoyances with it though when I started it back up. Like I think the hacking's still kind of lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, one is hard to get through, and it's aging not so well, in my opinion. And it's the only one that I've only played through once. I don't go back and play that one.
Ironically, it's probably the one I played the most because I just played it over and over and over and over again before
And one
2 came
one
out.
is like what 6 to 8 hours if you're like just going through it.
Yeah, and that's what I recommend. Just for especially for Alan's sake, just put it on easy and plow through the combat just to get the good story, and then move on to Mass Effect 2.
Agreed.
Doesn't it doesn't from Star Trek Next Generation? The
Oh,
Troy.
yeah.
oh, I
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah, she voices one of the characters.
Matriarch Benezia.
That's her name. It's been a while.
My salon ones to get her hair done.
What was that?
Deanna Troy, the actress, Mariana, whatever her
Yeah.
name is, actually
Yeah.
came into my salon once to get her hair done.
Oh, nice. I never knew that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. She was just as gorgeous and just as sweet.
I would love to meet her someday.
I
Maybe
did.
she'd be nice.
Yeah, the only Star Trek person I've met so far is Ensign Kim. So I need to work that and get meet some more people.
I was gonna meet Patrick Stewart at one point, but he had to leave the Comic-Con early because he wasn't feeling well. So I was a little bummed. So speaking of Star Trek, Star Wars Celebration is next week.
That was the worst segue ever.
Hey.
I know. So yeah, Trent and I will both be flying down to stay with Nick and Alan, and we'll be attending Star Wars Celebration down in Orlando.
Orlando. So sorry. Anyone who knows Book of Mormon knows what I'm doing right now. So
It's a wonderful play. Wonderful play. Musical. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. We need to make a game plan. We are bad. It's 8 days away or so, and we need to look at the panels and get a schedule going and figure out what we're doing and all that stuff.
I was
You
thinking
guys
about
had this all done.
no.
Like Nick's already telling me, it's like, oh, plan on us spending the night waiting in line to get into something. I'm like, what?
Yeah, we have that planned. We gotta figure
That's-
out when that
well-
panel is because I think they changed the date from Thursday to Friday or something. We need to look that up. But that's going to be the big panel, the one with the episode 8 that they're going to show the first trailer there for us first, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been trying
Get
to
ready
find
to-
the schedule online, and it's not as detailed as I would like.
What were you saying, Nick?
Get ready to sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the lows are in the 70s. So it's
Fun.
going to be a warm one.
Well, we're not
I
going to
might
be the
have
ones
to-
in costume, so.
Lovely.
That's true. I'm
But-
packing Star Wars T-shirts, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And not to be like weird or corny about it, but probably being there for Celebration 2015 when they revealed the first episode 7 trailer is probably like one of the best moments of my life, I would say. Just being in that panel with you, Trent. It was just. I'll have to have you comment on it, Trent, so I don't sound like a crazy person. But just like the wave of emotion in that room, with seeing the trailer, besides the small teaser we had gotten Thanksgiving before, which basically showed nothing. Seeing an actual teaser trailer, and then just the energy in that room, and then Han Solo showing up at the end, like, just
Yeah,
I
it was the
yeah.
culmination of so many years of like wanting there to be a new Star Wars story,
But still, no one I really care.
seeing everything like coming to full culmination, and then just being in a room with thousands of cheering fans. Being feet away from like J.J. Abrams and Daisy Ridley and Kathleen Kennedy and all these wonderful, awesome people. It was fantastic. So I'm excited for it again.
Yeah, hopefully we could get another feeling like that with episode 8. Hope if we can make it to the panel there.
We're looking at all the celebrities that are gonna be there right now, and like we see this dude named Dave Filoni.
Yeah, he's the
He's the guy who does the cartoons. Yeah,
Oh well, his picture,
Lovely.
his profile pic, he has his like cowboy hat on,
that's his signature. He
and
always
I
wears
wasn't
that.
sure if he was like a rebel or something.
Yeah, he always wears that pretty much.
Yeah, he's the showrunner for the Clone Wars and the Rebels cartoons.
Billy D. Williams is going to be there.
Yep.
Hayden
Lando.
Christensen is going to be there.
I saw that.
I'm
I was getting excited for Hayden Christensen. I was like,
I'm excited for Hayden Christensen. So
He hasn't been to one in
right.
forever. That is what I was reading the other day.
Well, he hasn't been doing much these days, so might as well do something. Hey guys.
if he's doing autographs, I want his autographs. So
Jumper was awesome.
What year was that? Like 2004?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Same year as the Fast or Need for Speed movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So speaking of Disney-owned properties, they announced a new Wreck-It Ralph movie. I'm on point with these transitions tonight, guys. I'm feeling good about this.
Right.
So
what's he supposed to be doing?
What's he supposed to be doing?
The Wreck-It Ralph, the second one.
I just showed Alan Wreck-It Ralph first time too.
Oh, nice. Well, they missed an opportunity when they named it. It is officially called Ralph Breaks the Internet Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh.
So if that's not a mouthful, I don't know what it is, but they had a perfect opportunity for just to call it Ralph Wrecks the Internet. Why does he need to break the internet?
Yeah, it's that phrase that's going around that is getting old.
It's the big expression now. So-and-so broke the internet. Beyonce broke the internet. So now they're taking it literally.
Yep. So it's a little cringeworthy, in my opinion. And so, based on the premise alone, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, obviously, we know nothing but the title and the premise, that he's going to, quote-unquote, break the internet. But what do you guys think of the title and or premise?
Well, I try to think back onto what I thought Wreck-It Ralph was going to be about before, and I think when they kind of, I don't want to say tricked, but they lured in, misled a lot of viewers to think that Wreck-It Ralph was going to be kind of a more, there was going to be more prominent video game references, I guess, because the first thing we ever saw was him in that little anger management room with all the other video game villains. And then we just saw like random scenes of like video game characters, stuff like that. And then it turned out to just be something else. It was all about
Candy Crush, the movie.
Yeah, and like I still like the movie. I don't hate Wreck-It Ralph. I think it's good. I like that it just went that direction. Breaking the internet, I don't know. Maybe he's gonna get trolled by somebody, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I don't want to."
That's a good John C. Reilly you did there. I'm impressed.
Thank you. But that's my guess.
Alan, do you have any thoughts?
Well, again, I'll be honest with you. I actually enjoyed the first movie. I'm not a big video game guy, so I don't think I was quite as offended as Nick. I was actually a little bit more offended by the fact that he kept making fun of the movie.
Movie sucks.
But I'm curious. For me, it's going to have to be a little bit of a wait and see. Since I have a tendency to enjoy a movie more the less I know about it. I have a tendency, like, if people hype up a movie or a TV show or something for me, and then I finally go and watch it, my expectations are so high that I'm always disappointed. So because I didn't know a lot about Wreck-It Ralph, the first one, I enjoyed it. And the second one, I'm curious to see. It's Pixar is always hit and miss with Disney hit and miss with quotes. So if it's just a rehash of the first one, it's not going to do.
Well, I'm going to temper your expectations and say Mass Effect is mediocre, but you should check it out when you have an opportune moment.
Yeah. No, it's. I'm not dissing Mass Effect. I'm very curious about it.
I'm just kidding with you. Trent, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was just I remember the original. I didn't really have any interest in seeing it in theaters, but then a group of friends were going, and they're like, "Hey, you should come with." So I had really low expectations, and it's one of the few times that I can think of where a movie just completely pleasantly surprised me, and it was so much fun. And I love Sarah Silverman, anyway, and so like the humor was on point. The little story twists were great. So if they can keep that in the next one, then I'll be happy with it.
And Nick, if I remember right, I think that's the last movie like you saw in theaters when you still lived in the same city as me before you moved.
I think, yeah, me, you, and Andrew, we saw a midnight showing of it.
And there was like a ton of kids in there for a midnight showing, like on a Monday night.
I remember I was just really sleepy too. Like,
That's why you go to the theaters that serve alcohol, and then you're less likely to have kids in it, and you get alcohol. So it's
I live in Utah. Wah, wah.
wah, wah,
you guys have alcohol there?
Not, well, we do in one movie theater, but
didn't they just recently lighten up on those restrictions for the state?
they did. So
Really?
not gonna go into Utah state politics here on this brief nerdy podcast,
But it's so current.
Yep. But yes, I have.
We'll do a special alcohol episode and just talk about that.
Oh, speaking of which, Nick, you need to tell Trent about the bar we're going to go to when we're in Orlando.
Oh yeah, there's this video game bar called Player One.
It's amazing. It's
it's
heaven on earth.
It's a $5 cover to get in, but when it's a fully stocked arcade video game bar where they have a bunch of old arcade cabinets,
like 50, and good stuff like Turtles in Time, Street Fighters, Marvel vs. Capcom. You know,
Nice.
Pretty much any, like The Simpsons. I mean, any good classic arcade game, pretty much they have. And then not to jump all over you, Nick, but like every booth has like a console with controllers there to play at the booth. The bar itself has like wireless controllers sitting there with like TVs back like behind the bar, behind the bartender and stuff like that, but up above so you can see them obviously. With games you could play there, and they're all free. It's not like $5 to get in and then you go pay some quarters to play the arcade games. Nope, they're all set to free play. So you could jump around from arcade machine to console to Smash Brothers to Mario Kart to Halo. Just playing games and drinking. So that is
Sorry. There's a bar like that here in Kansas City called Up Down, which is very similar to that. There they have more of a. There's no cover used by tokens, but you get like it's way cheaper than it used to be. They give you like a whole like bag full for like $5-10 or something like that. So it's
nice.
It's pretty fun.
Don't have stuff like that in Utah. Wah wah. But yeah, we will be making a stop there next week during our Orlando festivities. So
yes,
if one of our many listeners are in Orlando, go camp out there every night and wait for us to show up like a stalker, and we'll be there.
You have no idea what I look like anyway. So have fun with that.
No, you just said you were on the Don't Touch the Baby. They just got to figure out which one of the people there was you.
Yes, figure out how different I look after. How many years has it been?
Also, you posted a picture of us on Brief Nerdy last time we were at Star Wars Celebration.
Crap. My plan has been foiled.
So, anyways, speaking of alcoholism, Jessica Jones begins. Yes, I got this. Best host ever. Jessica Jones has begun filming for season 2. I'm excited about that. I wasn't sure if have they filmed Defenders yet? Do you guys know?
Oh yeah, it's coming out summer or fall of this year.
Oh, that soon! Wow.
Yeah,
okay,
we don't have an official release date, but it's done already. So
spoilers: Jessica Jones survives the Defenders season.
Yeah.
Thanks, Disney.
I'm guessing more or less the only people that are at risk are going to be the side characters. So careful, Foggy, and some of the other ones.
Let's see, Nick and Al, have you guys seen Jessica Jones?
We started watching it, and
we haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, we're
behind on a lot of Marvel series right now.
behind on
We wanted to
everything
watch
right now.
Daredevil. That just but we like Jessica Jones. We just really need to get going. We watched what?
Well, yeah, we watched the first episode of Luke Cage.
And
That's how I
Yeah.
feel about the whole season in general. And if you've listened to us before, you know that the first half of the season is a lot better than the second half. So if you're in the
Yeah.
beginning, then
Yeah, I think the first half is fantastic. The second half is a little
Wow.
bit harder to get through,
all right.
mainly because, like, I don't know, the villain is just
I mean,
silly.
minor
in my
spoilers.
opinion.
They switch villains about halfway through the season, and the
Oh,
first villain is much better and much more
Right.
interesting villain. So
Then there's Iron Fist, where you have really no idea who the villain is the whole time. It's good and bad.
like, I haven't started yet, and honestly, I probably won't until the summer. I'll probably watch it right before Defenders. But
Nice.
and I know Trent, you finished it. Nick and Alan, have you guys seen Iron Fist yet?
Nope.
Yeah, so not much to talk about there. Iron
So-
Fist. We're current on nerd stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm excited about Jessica Jones. I think it's my favorite of the four. Daredevil slipped a little bit for me with season 2, and Jessica Jones was just so good. So, one of the great things about Iron Fist is that the lawyer played by Trinity, Jerry Hogarth is the character, I think. She shows up in Iron Fist.
Carrie Ann Moss is the actress's name.
Thank you. And she is great as always. So
She is fantastic.
a little shiny thing to look forward
Don't
to.
F with Arya.
That's right.
Speaking of people you shouldn't F with, Sigourney Weaver.
Good segue.
It's like the segue of Segways podcast.
I know. Sigourney Weaver has stated that filming starts late for the 2017 scripts of Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they just skipped to 14 for some reason. Don't know what the deal is with that. But yeah, so filming starts in late 2017, and the scripts are quote unquote amazing. So,
Yeah.
do we believe Miss Ripley in this situation, Nick?
Do I believe what? Say it one more time.
Do you think Sigourney Weaver is just doing her job and selling the movie when she says the scripts for Avatar 2 and above are amazing? What do you think we should expect with these Avatar sequels that we just love to hate?
Well, since the first Honest and Dancing with Wolves, I'm sure the second one's probably going to steal from Cinderella.
Yep.
Maybe the third one is going to take from The Incredibles. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm in the minority on this, but I love the special effects, but the story itself was so meh to me.
I definitely don't think you're in the minority
Yeah,
on that.
I think vast majority of people are in that same pool.
I think the biggest problem with Avatar is that it's generating a lot of false hype because you have a big attraction opening up for it soon. You have all these stars, James Cameron attached to it, who's a pretty, in my opinion, a pretty legendary director. But you're hoping for namesake. This series of movies is going to just take off, and that people are just going to eat it up. Even though I'd say that it gets kind of it gets a bit of a pass because it took the name of something that already was a well-established IP, and I don't think there's enough hype behind our Avatar that it warrants having as many sequels as it's gonna have. It's like they're just throwing it in your face, and it could be good, but I just don't see it being as good as they want it to be. I think they're forcing people for it, but it's just its biggest draw was the 3D effects, and
Yeah, exactly. The visualizations of it, I thought were mind blowing. You know, the 3D
For the
effects,
time.
the colors. You know, but and I'm going to disagree with Nick here. I am not a big James Cameron fan. I think he is so overhyped. You know, Titanic. Psh, the best part of that entire movie was when the boat sank. The rest of it was just filler.
I don't think he's a great. I mean,
I think he's
not
not than most people do.
that too. He's kind of a.
I mean, outside of the first Terminator, I just haven't been impressed by much that he's done.
Aliens.
You like Aliens?
Aliens, I'm sorry.
No, he's
Right.
done Terminator and he's done the sequel to Alien.
Yeah, but
You're right.
That's it. I'm just not impressed by him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this entire project is basically just a rich man's eccentric hobby.
This is my dream.
It's like, I want to make this happen, and I'm rich enough and have enough connections to make it happen. And so many studios are just dying to have, like an in-depth multi-movie IP at this point that, they're willing to jump on anything.
And this
Well,
movie is
again,
still probably going to be successful. I mean, even if it doesn't make $100 billion like the previous one, I think it'll do modestly in the United States, but then make over $1 billion internationally.
I don't know, because aren't they filming all of it at the same time?
Yeah.
Which means that if the first one flops, like, they could end up well under budget, right?
Underperforming.
It's possible.
Yeah. It is, but I don't think it will be because
yeah.
I think they're going to market the hell out of it, and
Of course.
and people who aren't privy to quality of movies. I mean, like the Transformers movies have been panned critically for years, but they still make over $1 billion every time.
That's true.
Because they're flashy and stupid, and
We're-
Avatar has a chance.
we're
to
already
be
getting-
flashy.
Commercials for the Avatar preview at Disney,
Yeah.
and it's just so they show one of those Navi things, and
He's
it's
got a sleeping pill.
Hey, listen. We need PJ on now.
But the way that I'm looking at it is with Disney now dedicating a huge chunk of one of their parks to make Avatar World, they have no choice but to try to make this a success.
Exactly,
True.
and the marketing machine behind Disney will not let this movie fail.
Right? Exactly.
They're very heavily invested. What do they have any stars announced that are carrying this thing? I mean,
Besides Sigourney,
yeah, I mean, all love to Sigourney Weaver, but
I'm guessing the other actors are going to reprise their roles. That's my
Michelle
guess.
Rodriguez and the action star Buzz Cut. That was the star, the first one that who was
What
supposed
was
to
his
be
name? What else was he in? Wasn't he?
he was
G.I.
in that.
Joe,
He was in that Terminator movie too. The one with
Salvation.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
He was the Terminator.
Spoilers.
Oh, I sometimes forget that movie even existed.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's been
Terminator
plenty
Salvation.
long enough.
The one where Christian Bale screamed at somebody.
right.
The lighting guy
Yes.
for walking across the set.
lighting guy.
Poor lighting guy.
Oh, good for you.
Okay, Mr. Bale.
Yep. Speaking of
No.
good things for us, okay, I'm
Wait.
going to stop now.
Hang on. So,
Okay.
didn't Sigourney Weaver die in the first one? I mean,
Yes.
okay. I'm just
Spoiler.
making sure. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, that was a big part of the first movie. Like, anyway, I guess whatever. I mean, I'm
They're
glad
going
she's
to go to
back.
the Seattle Aquarium. And
Now they're going to put her in the Lazarus pit.
There you go.
I'm really glad she's coming back, but I mean, because I like Sigourney Weaver a lot. But
She is amazing.
she's
All
also
right.
going to be
Speaking of
in,
Lazarus,
the Defenders. Sorry, go ahead.
no, my bad. You were talking.
No, you're good.
Real quick. Where's the schedule? Are we going to talk about Archer or Archer?
Are we not doing phrasing?
Phrasing.
Sorry.
Well, we're going to talk about CW stuff.
Arrow. Because I do have a question, a real quick question.
Oh, can we wait for that?
Or can we wait for that?
Let's go right in. Ask your question.
Yeah, go for it.
All
Ask
right,
a question,
so
Great Gatekeeper. I'm not afraid.
I when there was the whole Flashpoint thing with Flash, and it affected all the others. I don't watch World of Tomorrow or whatever that other show is.
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. All right, so are you guys caught up on Arrow? Have you been watching Arrow?
I'm a few episodes behind, but feel free to speak about it freely.
Well, I do. My question is that he is talking about meeting a woman, which is Talia al Ghul. Because of Flashpoint, did he erase all of that with Black Canary and all of that? Because why are they talking about Talia al Ghul as if they've never met her before?
Well, was the son of Ra's al Ghul previously? Was she Talia? I don't think she was Talia. I think she was someone else.
You mean daughter?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
No, because I think in that show we haven't actually met Talia yet. We've met Nissa, who was
Nissa. Okay.
So I think Talia is a new character that I'm surprised that they're introducing. So I figured she would have shown up earlier.
But they're still talking about her as if Nessa never existed.
They're pulling a Hero season 2 during the writer's strike and just pretending that none of the events of that season happened.
Right.
We don't talk about the Ra's al Ghul season of Arrow.
They're already a little loose with canon in general, it seems, anyway. So.
And you're probably right, Alan. They probably just like any inconsistency like that. They'll just be like, "Oh no, that was Flashpoint. Flashpoint did it." Anytime they ever
It gives them like carte blanche to do whatever they want, really. So.
Well, yeah, that's what they seem to be doing with Flash and his whole time traveling thing, and I don't like that direction that they went in.
And they have to remind us several times over and over again that I can't time travel anymore, guys. That's bad.
Why
Have you guys heard that it's bad?
And and since we're on, if you don't mind me hating on the Flash a little bit,
Go right ahead.
what a freaking moron is Barry Allen?
He's a pretty big moron.
You know,
right
it's
now.
like, how many times have they told him you can't do this? Oh, yes, I can, and nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing ever does happen. Oh, look at that! I ruined everybody's life. Oh well,
Poor dead. Dang it.
I turned everybody emo
Seriously.
because everyone's emo in that show now.
This whole season.
yeah. I mean,
Barry ruins the universe. That's what they should call it.
Am I the only one who's rooting for Savitar to kill Iris at this point?
oh, come on.
I am rooting for her death. I'm going for the bad guy. He needs
so
to.
Curious who he is, though. I missed a few episodes? I accidentally. Now this is where it's bad because I accidentally current one, and honestly, I couldn't tell that I missed 3 other episodes, and I really don't care that I missed 3 other episodes. It's like, all right, so I watched this fourth episode, and nothing happened. Then the previous 3, that it seemed like I missed something.
Yep. Have you guys seen the musical episode yet?
No, that's one of the 3 that I missed that I really don't care.
I'm really far behind, so I'm.
Did you see it?
No, I haven't yet.
How about you, Ryan?
I have seen the musical episode, and I really did not like it, and neither did my girlfriend. But it seems like I'm in the minority on that. Everyone else seemed to really enjoy it.
Really?
So I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I guess I don't know. I'm used to higher standards when it comes to musical specials on TV shows, like the Buffy musical or the Scrubs musical, which are masterpieces, both of them. And so with the 2 Glee actors, not that I'm a fan of Glee, but I could recognize that they're, it's a fun show and they're good singers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I thought that they would do a good episode, but it was just not good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think when you end up seeing it. The what music episode?
Community.
Oh, yeah, that was such a good one. Yeah.
was my favorite.
Community's just all around great.
Yeah.
I miss it.
They still got a movie on the way, don't they?
Yeah. Probably not. So what about
Yeah,
Supergirl
only if
for
they
making
bring back
the
original
DC?
cast.
Yeah, they're probably too busy with other things right now. We haven't talked about Supergirl. Alan, what do you think of Supergirl right now?
Again, we're a few episodes behind on it. I really don't care. Here's my issue with Supergirl in general.
Women seem to like it.
I just don't like the actress.
Oh, really?
I don't like her as Supergirl. She's just so... Girl, don't talk about penises. Oh, put that away. I'm so offended by everything because I'm such a girly girl.
I don't think that's
and
how
then even
exactly...
when she still looks like a, I'm going to fight you.
Yeah, her fighting... What I hate is that when it's like Guardian or Mon-El, the choreography is pretty on point. But whenever it's Supergirl, she's not
tough enough to play Supergirl, plain and simple.
Or she doesn't really cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel the opposite, but I really like her. I just don't like the show in general, and I think adding elements like Guardian to the show is making the show crappy.
Yeah.
But every show is like, the plot doesn't ever really
move.
Right, like Guardian's one thing, but if they actually just kept Guardian and what's the guy's name? Freaking Jimmy, or what do they call him? James
Olsen.
They don't even build up on him. They don't even try to they'll throw characters at you and they'll get a bit of time, but then they'll just go right back to Kara or Kara's problems. They never really look into Martian Manhunter or Megan or anybody else. And episodes just come off like a Saturday morning show.
Yeah.
Like it's such a children's show, it feels like.
Exactly.
Trent's counterpoint.
I don't know if I disagree is the problem.
I thought you were like Supergirl's biggest fan.
Well, no, I really enjoy the show, but I have been kind of disappointed in the way that they take some really big names from like the Superman, Supergirl kind of universe, and they're one episode characters. I was like, these are people that could be villains.
Superman.
Oh my God, Cyborg Superman! Can we just talk about that for a second?
Well,
that was probably the biggest cringe moment of the show for me.
Yeah, he couldn't deliver the line right. There's just a lot of wasted potential. I think they should bring back Maxwell Lord. I thought he has been their best villain so far.
What the hell? What happened to him? They moved to LA to be on the CW, and they got rid of two of their best freaking storylines.
Right.
Kat Grant was phenomenal. She was the best part of the show. And Maxwell Lord was such a good storyline, and they just completely wiped him out.
Kevin Smith directs this episode of Supergirl. Let's go.
Yeah, one of the big problems is that they actually moved from LA to Vancouver.
That's what I mean.
And Calista Flockhart didn't want to make the move full time. She is coming back. I saw some news about that today. She'll be showing up in an upcoming episode or two. But I'm guessing Maxwell Lord just either didn't renew his contract or didn't want to make the move either, which I think is a really big letdown. And I thought they had some really good stuff going with Lex's sister and Lex's mom. Mm-hmm. But then that just all of a sudden resolved itself, along with 7 other plot lines in the mid-season finale. And I'm like, guys, let a storyline marinate for a little bit. Like, give it some time. It's like, nope, everything's great, and we use this thing to heal this person, and we use this to fix that, and everyone's happy, and she's in jail. And I'm like, okay, so now what?
Like with the new first season of Supergirl, I kind of give a little bit of a pass because it's the first season and they're leaving that network. But with the second season, it seems no different. I like a lot of the new characters. Like I love Mon-El.
Yeah.
I love the episode with it was it was kind of a throwaway episode, but I love Mr. What's his name?
Mitzelplick.
Mitzelplick. I love season.
I like how they went with that.
But there's nothing for me third season, and I know there's going to be a third season, but nothing's really been
enough to really make us want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's our duty.
I'm Supergirl. I'm good.
And I just have to get back one more time to that Cyborg Superman. It makes no freaking sense. Did you guys ever read the comics with after Superman died?
Yeah.
And the 4 Supermen came. That whole series.
It's when Doomsday first killed Superman.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm familiar with it.
And it was so afterwards. So you had a cyborg Superman tending to be Superman resurrected. There was a reason for him to be there and a reason to call himself Cyborg. And the way the series
Did it.
or they did it
For
in
like
the series
10 minutes.
makes absolutely zero sense for him to. It wasn't a good segue. Which Ryan, you should talk to them about it since you're so good at segues.
I'll call it my peeps.
I know,
But I mean, it's just like it's just because they the name of the character that they used for the guy who is like the alias
Hank Henshaw.
for Hank Henshaw was Cyborg Superman, but they threw in the twist that Hank Henshaw, like the one that's alive, is actually the Martian Manhunter. So they have this name that connects to Cyborg Superman, and so really it was just like a random comic book name drop that was
Right.
horribly executed.
Really badly executed. And if again you're with that storyline from the comics and you watch it at face value, you still have to ask yourself, why is he calling himself Cyborg Superman? There's no explanation for it whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, he just comes at it out of nowhere. I'm
He
Cyborg.
just decides to call himself that.
I think they should have just spent the extra just to have Superman in that series. Like at the beginning, they had it was kind of a good formula to have like Superman and Supergirl. I mean, I know they want to carry the show with just Supergirl, but I don't think she's a good lead. I don't think.
Well, actually, I think a fantastic development would have been for Superman to have died early on in season 2, and actually play out the deaths of Superman and how everyone is now looking to her all of a sudden, and actually like let that play through. But they're too afraid to take on something that dark, I'm assuming.
Because again, she's just she's Superman's little cousin. You know, she jam the respect that she should. You know, the way that Superman does. You know, I don't know. To me, she's just not likable.
And last
as
thing,
a character.
I hate the formula of the show. I hate because a lot of the CW shows do it. It's like 2 seconds we'll have Kara, but then she'll go to Supergirl. Then we have an action scene. Something happens where she probably gets incapacitated or she gets her ass beat. And then later on, it kind of repeats itself. Like we'll get Kara, then we get Supergirl again, fight starts. And by the end of the show, she usually wins. It's such a formulaic show that there's nothing ever to really expect.
It's predictable. That is really the best way to say it.
I agree.
It's just,
And the thing about the CW shows that I think you kind of touched on there, Alan, that like there's going to be a season 3, and I really don't think any of these shows are going to end for a very long time. CW is known for keeping these shows going and going and going, and Supernatural is proof of that. To where
Supernatural's good. Like
it's
they carry on shows like Reign for 4 seasons when they should have been canceled the first season. Like
true, but I think they're invested too much into this DC universe they have that it's just going to grow. I mean, maybe like one show will end, but then Another one will pop in its place. It's like a Hydra.
I think this is a good segue into how I think these all these comic book shows would not do so well if it is Wonder Woman bombs.
You think it's all based around Wonder Woman?
Yes.
Well, a lot of it. I don't know so much about the series themselves, but the series of the movies, the DC movies, are kind of all weighing on Wonder Woman's shoulders. And even though they already have the Justice League movie filmed and sending out, but there's a lot weighing on. It's because, especially since Batman versus Superman didn't do that great. Still did good, but not that great.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding on Wonder Woman, and especially because there's we've been waiting for this movie. You realize this is the first time she's ever appeared in a motion picture.
Yep.
It's the first time she's done anything outside of that 1970s show. That debacle that they tried to do a couple of years ago with the series, which was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with you, I thought she was the best part of Batman versus Superman.
Yep, I agree completely.
Completely agree. I definitely think the cinematic universe has a lot riding on it. I think the CW shows will be fine either way.
Right.
I don't know. I part of the reason that I'm not caught up is that I don't feel particularly compelled to watch them right now, and I've been watching things like The 100, which is not predictable, and Incredible, and Riverdale, which is really fun, and The Expanse on Sci-Fi, shows like that, which I would recommend to anyone.
I am now officially boycotting CW.
What? Because of us?
No. Just, I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm never gonna start any new CW shows.
No, I have to get you to watch The 100.
Nope, I'm done.
Have you tried watching Riverdale?
I have been burned by CW way too many times, and so I am done with CW.
Aren't they gonna get the new Buffy?
I kind of had a boycott on before the DC universe took off on there, and then I'm a big DC fan, and everyone says these shows are really good. I'm gonna give this another shot, and then the DC universe is so mediocre bad that I'm just like, I'm done. Never starting a CW show again. So
I'll get you to watch The 100. It's fine.
Well, after you watch the 10 shows you owe me,
That's
then
right.
we'll go on to the 100.
It's true. I do owe him a lot. So
You guys need to talk about how great Community is and how Trent needs to watch it.
Who?
Community's really good.
Wait, are we talking about the Community TV show again?
Yep. Trent has never seen it.
What? 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 Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Trent, oh my God. Dude, all right. I can't vouch for the later seasons, but the first three are absolutely amazing. They have taken it to such a different place. Broke all the rules with it. Oh my God. They're the Christmas episode, the claymation.
I cry when I watch that episode. I watch it every year now. We talked about that on our favorite Christmas special.
Punch my cats.
I'm gonna watch it. It's on my list. The list is just really long.
Oh,
but I've knocked 2 shows off it already this year, and then I'm planning on finishing 2 more here soon. So I'll get there. Don't worry.
It's on our short list to watch. We may have to force them to watch an episode when we're in Orlando.
Yeah.
It's such a watchable show, though. It's like we can watch. That's the thing about Community is that you don't really have to be too caught up on on plots because it has a lot of standalone episodes where
Yeah.
you can just watch the paintball episode and just let.
I've probably seen Community at least the first 3 seasons through in their entirety, probably 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah, easily.
Wow.
Easily.
And I'm still excited to watch it again with you, Trent, if we watch it together.
I don't know
So
how you. Well, that's not true. I've rewatched a number of seasons, but I haven't done it in a long time. I find it harder and harder to read or watch something that I've watched or read before,
mhm.
just because I feel like there's so many things that I want to get to.
Well, Nick and Alan could back me up on this, but the comedy in Community is so nuanced that you'll catch things and you'll laugh at different things in the episode if you go back and watch it on a second viewing, because there's so many layers of comedy. There's the surface layer that the lowest common denominator of viewers can watch it, but then there's layers and layers of comedy there that you could. There's so many like inside jokes that you could potentially see and laugh at. And can you guys comment on that?
Oh, completely. You'll catch things that. What was the episode where they roll the dice to see who gets the pizza?
I don't remember the name of the episode,
but you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
the
we
Chaos
just
Theory
watched
one.
that again recently, and we saw a whole different thing that we never realized before.
Mm-hmm. And then there's that season where Abed is like helping this couple in the background the entire season.
Yes.
Like he helps them meet, and then he helps them like get married, and then there's the episode with like the condoms, where the poked holes in the condoms, and then at the very end of the season, he's like helping them like deliver the baby, and someone's like, "Who's this?" And he's like, "Oh, this is so and so and so and so. I've been helping them in the background." Stuff like that. So it's a good show. Got off on a tangent there, but
I'll take your word for it. I will watch the show.
Another show like that to me is one of the most, and I'm kind of going off a little bit here off subject, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Parks and Recreation was another show like that. You go back and you hear the little quick jokes, the little innuendos, the little things that you missed, and it's like so freaking hysterical. And
Parks and Rec really grew
it was
on
the
me.
most underrated show I've ever seen.
I wasn't sure about it at first. I thought it was kind of like just an office rip off, but
sucked.
yeah.
But here's what I loved about that: the writers were actually smart enough to listen to the critics, and they went and they completely revamped it and did it in such a what's the word I want to use? Subtle. They slowly moved out some of the characters that weren't working. They slowly started to change the characters, brought some of the side characters like Chris Pratt. He was such a D-bag in the first season. And here he ended up being like one of the biggest stars of the show, because they changed his character and made him a lot more lovable.
Yep.
So it was a series that I waited it out, and the payoff was phenomenal.
Such a good show. I agree.
It was such a good show.
So kind of just get us back on the track. Yeah. We're excited for Wonder Woman. The new trailer looks fantastic.
Phenomenal. And
hopefully it's good.
I'm really happy with. I was a little disappointed that they weren't going to do it in World War II. I don't know why they still decided World War I instead, but yet at the same time, it looks like it's going to work no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think World War II has been done to death a little bit, especially people are going to compare it automatically to Captain America.
And that infuriates me, by the way.
Oh yeah, totally. But I think with stuff with like the trenches and her like climbing out of the trench and like walking towards the gunfire is just going to be incredible. I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
I really hope it's good.
Yeah,
and all
I
the
want it
parts
to be
that
good.
they're showing
so
on
bad.
Paradise Island are scary, look incredible. Like the training latest trailer with whatever that is with her bullet, where they hold on a second, where her aunt is training her.
Yeah.
hits her with the and she just uses the bracelets, and all of a sudden everything just like knocks everybody out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
who
is a
knew?
good explanation, because that's one thing I didn't quite understand in Batman versus Superman, exactly what kind of power those bracelets had. But now we're starting to see something.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering if they're like present from Zeus or something.
I think they make that kind of hint anyway from the most recent trailer. I think that's the angle they're going.
Right.
But who knew President Underwood's wife was such a badass Amazon?
All right, I missed that reference.
Sorry,
House of Cards.
House of Cards. The actress who's training her is on that show.
Okay.
She's phenomenal. I love her.
Princess Buttercup has come a long way.
She has.
My
She doesn't
only
need- she doesn't need anyone to fetch her pictures for her anymore. Sorry.
my only thing about
Princess Bride reference.
It's okay.
Dead
I
air.
laughed. I laughed. You're done. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
my only do well. I don't want it to because there's a lot of flack that it's getting being released. Like this one dude said the script was garbage, and the actress, I think, or the writer of the Wonder Woman movie, what is she kind of?
Are you talking about the writer or the director? The director's female.
Yeah, the director.
Patty Jenkins.
She responded to it saying that they're full of crap for saying that, especially with it not being out. So you can't. It sucks to have that kind of negativity for your movie, and especially for a movie like that.
Yeah.
But the only thing that, sorry,
No, go ahead.
the only thing that really, I'm just hoping that both Wonder Woman, her accent for me is a little distracting.
See, but that's the thing, though. She's not from America. She's from a Grecian-influenced island. So for her to have that accent is very appropriate. You know, I don't mind her accent at all. I think it works well. I think it works better because when Wonder Woman first comes, when they re-released her back after back in the 80s, when they ended all the stories and everyone started anew. When she first came to America, she didn't even speak English. She spoke ancient Grecian. That actually helped her. The only reason she was able to understand her is that she was a professor and slightly understood this ancient Greek that she was speaking. But again, she's also smart enough that she was able to pick up the language.
Yeah, I'm just speaking of kind of like the hype and the criticism. I thought it was really funny. I saw someone post the other day on an IGN posting of the trailer. There was this guy who was like, "Oh, she doesn't look like she's, fit enough to be a superhero, blah blah blah." And the IGN, whoever was running the IGN page at the time, replied with like, she was Israeli special forces, right? Like, she's literally qualified to be a superhero." Like,
Nice.
like, it was just the greatest smackdown on the internet I've seen in a while. It was fantastic.
You know what? It's funny you said that. I think I saw something very similar to that. So, no, I have no problem with Gal Gadot at all playing her. If you want to be nitpicky, the only issue I have is that Wonder Woman's always had blue eyes. And she has brown eyes. But again, it makes sense for her to have brown eyes.
Yeah.
But
So just kind of moving on from Wonder Woman, there was another great trailer that was released this week. Did you guys see the new Spider-Man trailer?
have not seen it.
Ooh,
I watched half of it.
Nick will give you his opinion.
You're weird. Who watches half a trailer?
When I am me.
Fair enough.
I don't like. I mean, if I'm gonna see it anyway, why should I even watch the trailer? Especially when they just want to show so
That's true. I will give you that. They
I stopped
did.
when he was saving the boat, and I was like, okay, why am I watching this? And why are they showing what happens in the aftermath? This isn't how you freaking preview your movie. So that kind of stuff just it makes me irritated because for one, I know what's going to happen now, and
Yeah.
wish I saw less.
I rescind my statement. You're absolutely right. They did they did show way too much in that trailer, and so I could definitely understand why you would skip out halfway through a trailer, being like, "Yep, I've seen enough."
I don't even know who's playing him.
The same kid that played him in Civil War.
Who is?
It's the same kid that played him in the Civil War movie.
We don't know the actor. The actor's name.
Yeah, I don't know his name. Yeah, I mean he's relatively unknown, I think. Anyway,
Yeah. Let's see. Tom Holland. Had to look
There
it
you
up real fast, but
When I
I'm
thought,
excited for it.
I thought Danny
Glover.
Glover was at some point.
No, that got thrown out.
Aw.
Have you guys not seen Civil War?
Huh?
Have you seen Civil War?
We haven't seen it.
Oh, you guys need to see Civil War.
Yes.
We just watched Winter Soldier like a couple months ago for the first time. We watched Winter Soldier.
I didn't see Winter
Okay, next time you're gonna watch a CW DC show, you catch up on the Marvel shows.
that's okay. You guys can skip over
Marvel.
Thor 2. I give you permission.
Ditto.
That's my kind of gripe with Marvel right now is that their cinematic universe is just, I think it's getting too big, and it's not really from what I've been reading, it's not been going so well with the comics because the comics are trying to do their own thing because over in the trying to phase out so that they could bring in this other series. I forgot what it's called, Inhumans or some stuff.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to it. You know, we're having another reboot of the Spider-Man franchise, and for the most part, it looks good. It's just how many are seeing the same.
Are they rebooting it or rebooting it? They were just gonna pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is probably technically a reboot, but Civil War picks up after Uncle Ben has already died and he's already Spider-Man, and so they're skipping the origin story, so to speak.
Okay.
So,
which is great.
Yeah, we don't need to see it.
Yeah, I don't need to see it again.
Yep.
With every freaking Batman movie, how many times are you gonna see his parents shot? How many times are you gonna see
have those pearls?
Drop?
You gotta have those pearls, man.
Exactly.
It's a requirement of every Batman movie to see pearls hitting the street. Yeah. But just kind of last thing about movies. We talked a little bit about last week, but reviews have since come out, and it bombed its first weekend apparently. But Ghost in the Shell is now out. It's the only one of the March movies I didn't see.
Bombed? Aww.
Yeah, it didn't do super well. Actually, like the Boss Baby, like destroyed this weekend for some reason.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding. It made like 50 or 60 million. Yeah.
$1 billion.
Boss Baby.
In only 2 hours.
And then like Power Rangers and Beauty and the Beast had strong legs too, reasonably strong.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell went up against some kind of competition.
Oh, especially Chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not terribly surprised. I haven't seen the anime, but I mean, we talked about this a little bit last week or the week before. But it's the fan base is very dedicated and very particular, and they want it, recreated well. And I don't know if it did that, and then it already doesn't really market itself to a wide audience, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so like it has so many bad things going for it. Or not going for it.
Exactly. My thoughts. From reviews, it apparently recreates the movie fairly well, and does a good job. Except just sometimes narratively, the anime's style of storytelling doesn't translate well to a Western, major motion picture, and that's, I guess, where its biggest weaknesses lie. But one of the reasons why I want to bring it up again is because, as compared to last week when we talked about it, none of us had ever seen the anime or were familiar with it. Nick has seen, is familiar, and is a fan of the 90s original movie. So I kind of wanted to get his opinion and take on it, even if he hasn't seen the new one yet, but just his opinion on it in general. Nick?
Well, I think from what I've been hearing from what my friends who have seen it, from what I can tell from what the movie did right, they did have a really good showcase of CG and animation, because that's for me, that was the biggest draw for the. It had some really captivating animation for the time. It's like made in the 80s, and the animation's just breathtaking, even and it just looks phenomenal. And for the time, it was just amazing. And they tried to kind of redo that with this American release. I asked myself the question: did this movie need to be made? Like, who wanted this movie? An American adaptation of a movie that was for basically the Japanese. I like people kind of throw on the whitewashing label a lot. It's kind of warrants some validation, because American releases do that. Like, look at something that's not anime, like Let the Right One In. Look at the original release of that, and then the Americans released their own version not too long after that. And it's like, why did that? I heard it was you saw the American remake.
I did. I saw it, and I enjoyed it. I definitely think the original was better, to no surprise. But if you don't mind me going on a little tangent, I felt that it was a worthy addition to it, so kind of a counterpoint to yours. It did enough different to where it kind of stands on its own, even if it did have a few weaknesses. And then there's just some things that are culturally just doesn't translate well with the original Swedish one, especially like the quote-unquote love story between the two characters in Let the Right One In. And I felt it was, from my perspective as an American, I could relate to the way they treated that relationship between the two characters in the American one better than just a little bit strange, in my point of view, to the relationship they had in the Swedish version. But I still like the original better, but I felt it was a worthy American remake, even though you're probably right, it wasn't needed.
And I feel like that's the same thing for Ghost in the Shell. Like, I haven't heard from anybody that Ghost in the Shell was the American release was a terrible movie. It's just look at all that it went up against. It went up against, all of the stuff that came for the Beast and Power Rangers and all that. And then it's going up against, I guess, the infamous Boss Baby that everyone. Was Ghost in the Shell rated R?
I don't know.
It was rated.
Yeah, Boss Baby made over 50 million over the weekend.
If you're in
stomachache right now. All right, guys, I'm gonna tap out. I'll see you next week. I'll be talking to you.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right,
Alan.
have a good one.
And Ghost in the Shell is rated PG-13.
Okay, so they try to make some of their money, but it's just I'm glad I'm happy they kind of took a risk with it, and it's I wouldn't mind doing it more, but probably taking a different approach to it. I think a lot of people were really disappointed that they picked Melissa Joan Hart, Scarlett Johansson as the main character, because they were hoping for a more accurate portrayal of like Asian actors as the cast, but I mean, I don't know. In the end, it's all just about making money, I guess, and I hope Ghost in the Shell makes enough money.
Well said. Well said. Well, it had a production budget of 110 million, and it made 18 million. Its opening weekend.
Ooh, that's rough.
Sorry.
So we'll see how it does.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not surprised by it.
Yeah. So, let's go ahead and kind of just start wrapping it up. We lost Alan already, and so we're about at time anyways. So, we'd just like to thank everybody for listening in this week, especially our good friend Dylan with his email there. Like Dylan, you can reach out to us via email, briefnerdy@gmail.com, or go to us on our website, leave a comment on there, or our Facebook, Twitter page, YouTube, comments, wherever your heart desires. So, we will probably speak a lot more about Mass Effect next week if Trent finishes, but he's not pressured to finish. But
More Mass Effect.
Yep, more Mass Effect on the official Mass Effect fan podcast.
That's right.
So, thanks everybody for listening. Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.